Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. This is Sadia Shams with you. I hope all of you are doing well by the grace of Almighty Allah. Today I am here with you to take your class of class 6, and our subject is English Grammar and Composition, and today we will read Unit 9. So dear students, what can you guess from this picture? What they are thinking? Here is a picture is about a boy and a girl who is thinking about something or someone else, and they want to write something. And the next picture you can see that this old man is reading something from a paper. So what do you think? What we are going to read today? Yes, you are right. We are going to read today letter. How to write letter. So before discussing the class, we need to know the learning outcomes of this class. What you will know after this class. We will be able to learn what is the letter, classification of letter and its importance, writing formal and informal letters correctly, then asking and replying someone by writing letter. So, what is letter? What the letter actually called? A letter is a written message that can be handwritten or printed on paper, and it is easily sent to the recipient by a post in an envelope. It is a means of communication and a store information. And throughout the history, this letter writing play a great role to development our writing skill. So letter is very important to develop our writing skill also. There are broadly two types of letter. One is formal letter and another one is informal letters. So what they are called? The formal letters follow a certain pattern and formality, and they are strictly kept professional in nature and directly address the issues concerned. Such letters are written for official purposes to authorities, dignitaries, colleagues, seniors, etc. So when we write formal letters, we can keep ourselves professional in nature and directly addresses the issues we have concerned. Then formal letters are letters we write to our relatives or written to those we have sense of familiarity. Such letters include letters to our parents, sisters, brothers, uncle, and so many dear ones. And when we write letter, there is a rules to maintain. When you write this letter, the tone of writing formal letters are: be polite, use simple language, be positive, don't exaggerate, use proper format, and use proper salutation and close. So when we write formal letters, we need to follow these rules. Then comes to essential parts of formal letters. When we write formal letters, these parts are very necessary, and these essential parts we need to write very sincerely. First come to the date. When we write formal letters, we need to write the date in a proper way. You should write the date on the left side. Write the month as a word. This is the date on which the letter is being written. It is important in formal letters as they are often kept on record, like 07 January 2020. So when we write date, we need to write the month as a word. Then comes to the address. The address of the person you are writing to. The address should be written on the same side starting below the date. Then comes to the subject. A subject that is to the point is a good help in getting your letter read in time. This helps the receiver focus on the subject of the letter in one glance. So when you write letter, be conscious about your subject. Then salutation or greeting. The general greetings used in formal letters are sir or madam. If you know the name of the person, the salutation may also be Mr. XYZ or Miss ABC. But remember, you cannot address them only by their first name. It must be the full name or only their last name. If you are writing to a woman and don't know if she uses Mrs. or Miss, you can use Miss, which is for married and single women. So like my name is Sadia Shams, so when you write my name in the letter, then you have to write Miss Shams, not Miss Sadia, you have to write Miss Shams. So now comes to the ending part, how we can end the letter. When we write letter, we can use faithfully. We can use faithfully when we don't know the name of the person, and we can use sincerely if we know the name of the person. And both of them we need to give a comma. And at last you need to sign your name. Then print it underneath the signature. And this is how the recipient will know who is sending the letter. Now comes to the structure of formal letters. In this structure, you need to put the date at first. First write down the date, and after that write the recipient's full address. Then skip one line and write subject. Skip another more line and insert the greetings. Then skip a line and begin the letter. In the body of your letter, separate your thoughts into paragraphs. And skip one of your final lines to include a complimentary closing. And skip 3 lines and write your full name and give sign. So here are some examples of formal letters. Let us read. An application to the head teacher requesting him or her to arrange an annual picnic. First, the date, then the receiver's address, head teacher, Ananda Niketan School, Mymensingh. Subject, an application for arranging an annual picnic. Dear Sir, we the undersigned are the students of classes 6 and 7. With due respect, we are writing this letter to you. You know that our annual examinations are going to be over on 18 December 2020. Throughout the year, we were engaged in serious academic activities. Now, we would like to have some time for fun and recreation after examinations are over. This is why we would like to go on a picnic under your guidance. This time, our choice is Gazipur Safari Park, and students will contribute the required amount of subscription. Therefore, it will be great if you kindly agree with our proposal and do the needful please. With best regards, your obedient students of class 6 and 7. And then comes another example from your book. Letter to Muktijuddha Jadughar requesting them for a day-long exhibition on Liberation War at your school compound. First, the date, then the receiver's address, then the subject, a day-long exhibition on the Liberation War. Then the salutation, Dear Sir or Madam. Hello, we are writing on behalf of the students of Bandarban Adarsh School. Our school is located at the corner of Bangladesh. The students do not have sufficient opportunities to go to Dhaka Museum to explore the evidences of the Great Liberation War. We read the history of our Liberation War only in the books. Since Muktijuddha Jadughar has a mobile museum, we request you to arrange a day-long exhibition at our school premises. This will help students as well as others in this area to experience the fact of the Liberation War from a close quarter. We will be looking forward to your responses. With best regards, Udayan Chakma. Then comes to the rules for writing informal letters. When we write informal letters, we need to follow these rules. Free use of language. When we write formal letters, the language use is strictly to be maintained. But when we write informal letters, here we can use our own languages, what we want to use. Then sense of familiarity in the letter. Salutations is flexible here. If you want to write down my dear sister, or if you want to write down by their name, then you can also write. Then good paragraphing. You can write your thoughts into several paragraphs. Then good introduction. Complimentary clause is flexible here, such as your friend, your loving son, etc. Then the structure of informal letters. So see this structure. First, like formal letters, we need to put the date, then recipient's address, then after 2 or 3 line gap, we need to write down the salutation, dear Adrisha, or dear sister, dear father, or anything like that. Then comes the body. When you write down the body, you can separately write your thoughts in different paragraphs. You can also give a complimentary closing here, and at last you need to write down your name. So let us read some examples of informal letters. This letter is from your book. Write a letter to your friend about your visually impaired friend. And the time 18/5/2020, Hirajil, Narayanganj. Dear Said, take my salam and love. How are you? Hope you are well. I am also well. You wanted to know about my visually impaired friend. Now I am writing of it. I have a visually impaired friend. He cannot see the beautiful spring day, the flowers, the blue sky, or the singing of the birds. But he has a high imaginative power, and he can smell better than others. He is one of my best friends. Then a complimentary closing, no more today, with best wishes and love to all. Your loving friend, Abdul Ahad. So these informal letters maintain all the criteria of informal letter. First, you need to write down the date, then subject, then good introductory, then the body, and also a complimentary closing. And both of the letters, the envelope is very important. When you write envelope, you need to write down the sender's address at the right side, left side, and write down the receiver's address in the left side. Okay, so what you come to know after this class? I think all of you are able to learn what is formal letter and what is informal letter. So what is formal letter? I think all of you know this well. So when we write formal letter, we need to be very professional in our nature and directly addresses the issues concerned. And we need to follow the structure carefully. First, we need to write down the date, then the recipient's address, then subject. After that, we need to write down the salutation, and then the body, and give a complimentary closing at last. And the informal letters which we write to our relatives are written to those we have sense of familiarity, and these are flexible in nature and language use. So when we write informal letters, we need not to be very professional in our nature. We can use free languages, we can use free salutations, all of the things are flexible here. So when you write informal letters, you need to follow the structure also, but in this structure, you need not write the subject. So when you write informal letters, first write down the date, then the recipient's address, then the salutation, then the body, and at last your name. So dear students, it's time for your homework. You have to write this informal letter in your own way because this is not from your book. But in second letter, you have to strictly follow the formal letters and you can get help. So hope all of you are able to learn how to write a letter in a proper way. So thanks for staying with me. If you want to see this class again, you can go to our Facebook page, Amar Ghare Amar School, or you can visit our YouTube channel, or you can also email us. So dear students, try to follow the government rules and always keep yourself fresh and clean. And stay safe and stay fine. Thank you. Bye bye for today.